Everybody is screaming that Paddy Donavan got robbed against Lewis Crocker. I think it was a close fight. I think it was much closer than what most people had it. But I think Paddy Donavan was the rightful winner. I do. Paddy Donavan dictated the pace for the majority of the rounds. Basically, in mostly every round he didn't get dropped in. He dominated and dictated the pace in the rounds. I think power-wise, single shot-wise, Lewis Crocker is definitely the bigger hitter. Lewis Crocker definitely set up his shots better than what Paddy Donavan did. Paddy Donavan was mostly just active behind the jab, but a lot of the time there wasn't lows happening, and Paddy Donavan was able to dictate behind the jab beyond that, and beyond that front foot. I think Crocker was good tonight, and I think it was probably the best performance of Lewis Crocker's career. I mean, in the judges' eyes, he was good enough to win him the world title. I don't think he should have won the fight. I think it was close. I'm not saying it's a robbery, because I don't think it is a robbery. I feel like it was much closer than what people are saying that it was. I think Crocker landed the biggest shots in parts. I think Crocker's body work was pretty underrated in that fight as well. I think Crocker's timing was good. I think he was able to catch Paddy onto shots when he leant in. But overall, Paddy Donavan was able to dictate the pace behind the jab, throw a decent few backhands upstairs as well. I feel like Paddy Donavan was very good with his straight shots tonight. Look, if there is a winner there, it's Paddy Donavan. I don't see how the judges gave the fight to Lewis Crocker personally. I don't see how they gave it to Crocker. I think that the best result Crocker could have got was a draw, but I'm not screaming, oh, it's one of the biggest robberies we've seen in 2025, though. I don't think it is. It was competitive. It was a competitive fight, but overall, Paddy Donavan probably should have been given the decision, and the judges got it wrong. I mean, you look at the stats here. Overall, Donavan outlanded him in 9 out of the 12 rounds, but I think there was more impactfulness in the shots from Lewis Crocker when he was landing flush and was connecting him when he was landing. I think Crocker was definitely more impactful with his shots and was able to set them up much better. And again, I think the two knockdowns in the judges' eyes probably is what did it. And, fair play to Donavan for getting up after that fifth round knockdown as well. I mean, Jesus Christ. Look, as I said, it was. I feel like it was the best game plan possible from Lewis Crocker. I think it was the best game plan possible from Lewis Crocker. I don't think he could have done anything else, really. I was thinking at first, right, why is he coming? Why is he fighting at range against the southpaw? And eventually was able to catch him coming in. But I feel like the thing with Lewis Crocker is that he never adjusted in the fight. Again, it was a good game plan. He might have not been able to do loads more, but there weren't even any tiny or small adjustments made from Crocker, and I feel like that's what he could have done. Fighting, similar to how he was doing, weight on the back foot, not leaning over the front foot like he was doing in the first fight. I think that was much better this time. But eventually, when Crocker was wanting to fight the fight at range, Paddy Donavan was eventually able to get more and more comfortable and be able to get that southpaw jab of his going. And that was what was able to dictate the fight. The lead hands, feints, that was getting reactions out of Crocker here and there. And yeah, that jab over the top from Paddy Donavan I thought was good. I think they were both smart. I think both guys fought a smart fight. But overall, Paddy Donavan was able to dictate that fight on the front foot. Crocker, let's be real. Crocker was on the back foot. He wasn't exactly boxing off the back foot like you'd see a Dimitri Bivol do, for example, like you'd see a Sonny Edwards do, for example. He was just waiting and waiting and waiting for the right shots, and might have waited a bit too long, in my opinion, to take the fight. But again, he won the fight. He won the fight, and it was a competitive fight because of the big impactful shots that Crocker was landing in. Let's be real. Crocker was never in any trouble in points in that fight. Never in any trouble in points in that fight. I think it was that 10th round as well, which I think Crocker was able to land some good combos in as well and get to Donavan a bit. I thought Crocker was able to take that round. I thought, again, Crocker was, I think, more convincing in points than what people give him credit for. But again, I don't think he won the fight. I do feel bad for Donavan. I do feel bad for him. But yeah, what do you expect? You are in Belfast, get those 4 minutes away from Croke Park. What you're expecting, really, if it's a close fight, and Donavan did get dropped twice, it was inevitable that something like that was going to happen. But again, the Southpaw dictated the pace. The Southpaw was able to dictate the pace in that fight overall. But again, I've got to give Crocker and Billy Nelson big credit for their game plan. I've got to give them big credit for their game plan. And I don't think it's a massive robbery that people are making out. I think it was a good game plan from them. But there were adjustments that should have been made, in my opinion. I mean, they won the fight, so it's like, who cares on their end? But, I mean, I'm just saying, when he goes into other fights, he's not a guy who seems to make loads of adjustments in there and really thinks when he's in there it's one plan or not. And it's like in the first fight as well. Crocker doesn't change things up. It's just his way or the highway. It's just plan A or it's absolutely nothing. And that was the first fight. It was the same tonight. It worked tonight. It was much better tonight. Dropped Paddy Donavan twice and caught him with some great single shots upstairs. But I think Paddy Donavan overall was much looser in there. Was a guy who dictated the pace with his jab. I think both guys were smart when picking their shots. But overall, Donavan, I don't think was overly great tonight. I just think he was the more active guy. I don't think Donavan did anything amazingly fantastic. He was just the more active guy than Crocker. But I don't think Donavan, there wasn't really any convincing Paddy Donavan shots landed, though, if I'm really thinking about it. There wasn't really loads of Paddy Donavan convincing shots that landed. But anyway, that's my opinion on the fight. Thank you for watching. Speak to you on the next one.